And welcome back, YouTube. This is Boosterbox Buster here with another video. Today I'm here to share with you my Yugioh Minifigure Series 8 collection. Made by the company Mattel and released between the years 2002 and 2005. Series 8, just like the two series before it, has 9 individually packed miniatures, and one 3-pack that contains an exclusive monster that cannot be found anywhere else, until they re-released it in set 15 much later down the road. Now, Series 8 is kind of a conflicting set. I do like most of the miniature models themselves. They do look pretty cool. However, they chose some really obscure monsters. I mean, some of these monsters have not had an actual card released in the West at all. Like, they were Japanese exclusive, and they've never had an actual release in America. Which is kind of surprising. On top of that, with the exception of the obscurity, there are 3 monsters that are huge standouts, and you will definitely understand what I mean when you see them. Other than that, like I said, most of the models are pretty good, but just really, really obscure monsters for the most part. Alright, so without further introduction, let's get into this. First up, from a Pegasus deck, we have Dark Rabbit. Now, I gotta say, Dark Rabbit is pretty cool. I do really like his look. He's very cartoon-like, as a lot of Pegasus cards are. He has those really cool gloves on his hand. He's wearing that cartoon suit and tie there. That's pretty cool. Look at those crazed eyes. I mean, he looks like he's on drugs there. That is pretty insane. His ears are colored on the inside. That's kind of nice. His foot on the bottom there is colored. One issue with this miniature, though, if you have it loose, this one is very prone to snapping just because of the way that it's glued to the base. So oftentimes, if you buy this loose, it's going to be 50-50 chance if it's broken or not from its base. Just because of how loose, or not loose, but how thinly it's attached to its base there. Other than that, it's a pretty good miniature. I do like it. I love those crazed eyes. Look at those crazed eyes there. So cool. That's Dark Rabbit. Up next, from Mako Tsunami, I believe, deck. A card that was just released in Speed Duels not too long ago, but outside of Speed Duels it has not seen an official release, I believe. As far as my researching was going, I could not find an official United States release or English release for this particular monster. And that is Kairyushin. I gotta say, it's a pretty cool looking, I believe this is like a water snake. I love the blood red teeth. It looks like it's had quite a few meals in its day of blood. The wings on its head there, those do look pretty neat. Its simple snake-like body, you know, it's the simple blue on top, yellow on the bottom. I do kind of like it, but I've always liked snake-type monsters. In Pokemon, one of my favorite Pokemons is Dragonair, just because of it looks so cool, you know, with that snake-like body. And Aardvark is a really cool Pokemon, too. But enough about Pokemon, we're here to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! I gotta say, I do like the model. It's not my favorite by any means, but it's definitely not bad. I put it in the passable category. That is Kairyushin. Up next, this one's unfortunately a bit damaged up, but what can I do? We have the Hitsumi Giant. I want to say, is this a Kaiba card? Or is this, I want to say Kaiba or Joey, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I do have some sticker residue I just need to get off at some point. And of course, he has that giant one eye right there, because he's a Cyclops. He has a kind of a basic body build. Nothing bad, but nothing good. I do like his claws on his hand, that's kind of nice, and of course his clawed feet down there. His loincloth to cover the bits. Kind of a more simple miniature, but not a bad miniature by any means. It's something that'd be great for Dungeons and Dragons, that's for sure, but for Yu-Gi-Oh! For the miniatures, it falls squarely in the meh category. Nothing bad, but nothing great. I prefer Karyushin much better. And here we have another card that has never had a Western or English release, and that's the Horned Imp. As far as I could tell. If it has had one, I just could not find any available for purchase at the time on eBay. But yeah, Horned Imp. Or Horn Imp, I guess. Not a... It's very similar, I'd say, to the Hitsumi Giant in terms of build. Of course, he has the horn on the top there. Red body. The claws on his feet. You don't really see any claws on his hands because he has it in a fist. Once again, it's... Honestly, it's just kind of meh. It does kind of remind me of a Yu Yu Hakusho demon, so I will give it that, but it's just meh. It's nothing great, but nothing bad. Kind of the one... It's kind of like the half of this set is very meh. Now here's a miniature I do really like the design of, but it's a very obscure miniature again. Very obscure monster. We got King of Yami Makai. Another monster used by Panik. I think they made every single monster used by Panik in the anime into a figure, because I at this point I think I've said Panik at least probably 8 to 10 times as far as this monster was used by this person in this series. So I think they made every single monster Panik used into a miniature. I will say this, I really like the design of this guy, the super... It almost looks like he's wearing armor. If it's not armor, it's like overgrown, like shielding for his legs and arms. It's just really, really a cool design, and I love the almost like blue helmet he's wearing up top there. That's really cool. Of course, the wings, which are pretty much pointless on this guy if they're that tiny. Maybe they're not wings, maybe they're just like spikes. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I really love the shoulder pads on him. That looks really cool. Just a really well-designed monster in miniature, but once again, a really obscure monster. They did release this card in Metal Raiders. I'm pretty sure it was Metal Raiders. But outside of that, it's just obscurity. I wonder how many times I said the word obscure in this video so far. Now, when I seen this, I had to do a double take because, yeah, we got Clown Zombie. Now this may look familiar. No, it's not Crass Clown. It's Clown Zombie. Just like it's not Crawling Dragon, it's Dragon Zombie. This... Now look at it this way. They've released 3 clown miniatures in 3 sets. They've released Crass Clown as a standalone in set 6, Crass Clown as a part of the 3-pack in set 7, and Clown Zombie, which I believe is just a zombie form of Crass Clown, in set 8. I understand it's very easy to make this when you already have the model from Crass Clown, but it's just really annoying that they had to release 3 very similar miniatures, or in one case the exact same miniature, 3 sets in a row. I will say this, I do prefer this over Crass Clown, but not by much. Used by Bones in the anime, along with Pump King and Armored Zombie and other zombie-type creatures. That is Crass Clown. Let's get a bit closer look. And that doesn't have a glare in it. Right there. Very cool. Alright, so now we get to some good stuff here. Because set 8 gave us the gods. We have Slifer the Sky Dragon. What a beautiful miniature. I think they had to sculpt this a certain way just to fit in the packaging. I mean, he looks like he's about ready to bust out. His wings are barely contained. His tail had to be, or his body had to be like constructed in such a way that it could barely fit in here. It's a beautiful miniature. I love the fine detail up around his mouth there, his double mouth, his claws, the spikes running down his back. This is a well-designed miniature, as they needed to do for one of the big 3 Egyptian gods. They needed to make sure that they were well-designed because they are some of the most important pieces of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Beauty of a miniature. One of my favorites from this set. Slifer the Sky Dragon. And of course, not to be outdone by Slifer, we have Obelisk the Tormentor. Now I gotta say personally, I do like the design of Slifer a bit more, just because Obelisk is very monochrome. He's a very singular color. Pretty much blue, and then you have his teeth and eyes. That's about all you have here. But where's that coming from? Okay, just a little bit of a stickiness, probably from the price tag that was on there. I gotta say, this is a really large and in-charge monster. When you take a look at it, it barely fits inside the packaging there. Its hands want to break out, as Obelisk would. He would obliterate... Oh wait, no, that's Exodia. Never mind. But yeah, another very awesome miniature. And I have to say, they did a fantastic job with it. Now, are you ready for the next one? Because we have, for the final individually packed duel monster, the Fiend Kraken. You thought it was going to be the Golden Chicken now, didn't you? The Winged Dragon of Ra. No, it is the Fiend Kraken. A monster that, as far as I could tell, did not have a Western release of a card. It has it in the OCG, but I don't think there's any in the actual TCG. If there is, I was not able to find some in my investigation. I do have to say, I do like this monster. Used by Mako Tsunami in the anime. I do like this giant octopus. Yeah, because that's 8, right? 2, 4... Oh, that's 10. It has 10 tentacles. Interesting. So yeah, it's not even an octopus. It is a kraken. That is cool. Love the beady yellow eyes it has staring right at you. The very squid-like nature of it. It's just a really cool monster. And of course it has all the suction cups on the side. Just get a look at that. That's pretty cool. Really cool monster. I like this quite a bit. One of the better individually packed ones. And now we move on to the 3-pack. So I'm going to move these to the side. Just bear with me a minute here. And we have reached the 3-pack. It is one godly 3-pack. That's right. You have Slifer, the Sky Dragon, Obelisk, the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra being an exclusive miniature to this 3-pack until they re-released it in set 15 down the road. Now I do have to say, this is probably one of the most desirable 3-packs you will ever see, as it contains 3 of the most iconic monsters from all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they did a fantastic job with Slifer, a pretty okay job with Obelisk, and for the big golden chicken, I think they did a pretty good job. Now one thing to note, if you are collecting these loose, Slifer and Ra do snap off their base pretty easily, so to find it intact with the base is not... You're gonna... What do I want to say? It's very easy to snap them off their base, so if you're collecting it, you're probably gonna see a lot of listings with them snapped off their base. So do be wary of that. Do make sure to check the base that they're attached if you want it to be a complete miniature. And I gotta say, this is kind of unfortunate that they've released it as just an exclusive for the Winged Dragon of Ra out of this set, because it does make it much harder to get the miniature. Thankfully, they did re-release it in set 15, but still, it made it much harder to get this miniature to complete the God set. And if your favorite miniature is the Winged Dragon of Ra and you don't care for the other two, you're kind of out of luck, as you would have to buy the whole 3-pack to just get this one miniature. And one thing to note that's really cool about this particular 3-pack, the Yu-Gi-Oh name is all in gold. That's a really cool feature for the Egyptian God 3-pack. Alright, so with that being said, we reached the point of the video where I list my favorite miniature from the set. This is a pretty easy answer. He wins. However, these two are actually pretty close. I do like these two quite a bit. I think that the Fiend Kraken looks really, really cool, and I just love the design and armor on the King of Yami Makai. I gotta say, they did a pretty good job in this set with some of the really obscure miniatures or monsters to represent them in miniature form. Now we go to which one I think will retain the most value over time. And that's pretty easy as well. Even though they made 3 packs of them, these two will by far, I think, hold the most value over time, just because people love the Egyptian gods from Yu-Gi-Oh! And for people that are trying to get a complete collection, these two are by far some of the hardest ones to get from this set. Obviously I have to throw in the 3-pack too, just because it contains the Winged Dragon of Ra. I think out of 3 packs, that's probably one of the most valuable ones. There is one more that I think's even more valuable, but I'd say it's probably the second most valuable 3-pack in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, or not Yu-Gi-Oh game, in the miniature line. Now, let's just say, okay, if I remove the gods from the selection for most valuable and expensive, or not most valuable, but yeah, most valuable and rarest, that becomes a little bit harder to choose. But I do think that this guy right here is actually going to be really hard to find and going to retain the most value out of the non-Egyptian gods from this particular set. I don't know why, but I think he will be the hardest or rarest one to find and most valuable, with the exception of the gods. Well, with that being said, I think that about wraps up this video. Please let me know in the comments down below what your favorite miniature was from this particular set. You heard mine, and I would like to hear yours. Hit that like button, it really helps out the channel a lot, and hit that subscribe button. Both actions really do help out this channel, and I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. If you would like to check out a past video, it should be popping up right about now, or it already has popped up. And with that being said, this has been Booster Box Buster, and I'm signing out. I will see you for Series 9. Peace.